I'm Ashlyn.
And I'm Tristan.
From Eagle News First Hour. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So, Ashlyn, how late did you stay up Sunday?
Pretty late, dude. Watching football.
Same. Speaking of football, let's head on over to Nathan and Alex for their story on the Rams.
Eagles, this is Alex.
And Nathan from Eagle News First Hour.
Today we begin our story about telling you a variety of things about the Rams.
From when they were founded
to how they converted to Los Angeles and how they became the team they are today.
The Rams were founded by a group of men, Mr. Homer H. Martian, Mr. Wool A. Lang, and the mysterious but equally important Damian Buzz Wetzel. In 1941, Marshman was a member of the Cleveland co-founders that sold the Rams to a New Yorker named Daniel F. Reed.
The Rams were originally founded from Cleveland, Ohio, and moved to Los Angeles due to financial issues. They soon moved to St. Louis because one of the late owners, Georgia Frontier, had options and decided to buy 40% of the team and move them to St. Louis. The Rams didn't move back to LA for any specific reason. They moved back because they were given an option to move back with the Chargers. The Rams are planning to stay in Los Angeles for a while now. They plan on staying there past the Super Bowl that will take place in the LA Memorial Coliseum.
The Rams became a good team through a lot of rough years. Like in the past 18 years, they haven't made it to the Super Bowl playoff games. They either lose in the wild card playoffs or divisional playoffs. They have gone through a lot of up and down years. But with the new coach, Sean McVay, they are looking for like a Super Bowl team. From their performance in the past weeks, they look like top competitors with wins over the Vikings, Raiders, and the Broncos, to name a few. Even though Sean McVay is younger than two of the players on his team, they still respect him as their coach and say he has a great knowledge of the game and he is a sharp and pristine coach.
What do you think about the Rams?
I think that they'll go to the Super Bowl against the Chiefs because we're the best.
What do you think about the Rams?
I think the Rams are the best team in the NFL.
Okay.
How do you think the Rams are doing so far?
They're doing pretty good. They're like 7-0, 6-0.
What do you think about the Rams?
I think they're doing good this year.
What do you think about the Rams?
I think they're going to do pretty good this year. I mean, they're already doing pretty good. They're 6-0, so.
What do you think about the Rams?
They're alright. I mean, not too bad.
What do you think about the Rams?
Well, they have a good combination of players, and they're doing pretty good this year.
What do you think about the Rams this year?
I think their new coach has been very effective on the team.
What do you think about the Rams this year?
I think they're unbeatable right now. Sean McVay knows what he's doing, it seems like, and Todd Gurley's a beast.
What about the Rams?
They were the first NFL team to have insignia on their helmets.
Look, the Rams are one of the first teams to join the NFL and have gone through a lot of up and down seasons.
From when they started in Cleveland up until now with LA.
The Rams are one of the most original teams in the NFL, and they deserve the season that they're having today.
Alright, no more football and ease off the candy. Let's go on to Brenna and Sean about their evolution of candy.
Good morning, Eagles. I'm Brenna.
And I'm Sean from Eagle News First Hour.
Since Halloween is coming up, we thought it'd be a good idea to learn about the history of candy.
And how it was invented.
What company started candy, and how did they do so?
And how candy has evolved since.
The first in our story is how candy was invented. Candy first started when cavemen started to get a sweet tooth and crave something sweet. They would combine honey and then set it out to dry and make a taffy-like concoction. Later on, Indians were the first to use sugar cane and would also become the first to create brown sugar. Ancient Egypts used candy in ceremonies to worship gods and goddesses. Like the caveman, Egyptians used honey but added nuts, dates, figs, and spices. The Greeks, Romans, and Chinese also went on to add to our candy evolution. When sugar became an added ingredient, mainly the rich were the only ones to buy candy since sugar was so expensive. Now let's see Sean on what the first company that sold candy was.
Hershey's was the very first chocolate factory. It was founded in Dairy Township, Pennsylvania on February 9, 1984. The very first Hershey's bar was created by Milton Snavely Hershey on November 7, 1900. Gene Tobler owned his own shop in Bern, Switzerland, producing chocolate from products supplied by other manufacturers. Demand for Tobler's chocolate products was great. Then John Tobler founded a chocolate factory of his own. With his sons, he established the Fabrique de Chocolat Bernay by Tobler Clyde.
The last thing in our story is how candy has evolved since the first candy. Candy has evolved a lot since it began. We now have candy with any flavor you can imagine. not saying that they're all good. We have learned to make some crazy flavors like gummy bacon, steak-flavored suckers, or meatball gum. Often new flavors are coming out, but not all are bad. I love sour candy like the Sour Punch straws.
In conclusion, candy has come a long way, and how it started was really cool.
We hope that you learned something new and enjoyed the evolution of candy. Back to you, Anchors.
Oh, I like your MacBook. What's that Supreme sticker on it?
I don't know. How about we hop on over to Dalton and Sam about it?
What's poppin', South Philly Nation? It's your boy, Samuel Noah Joaquin Butcher here.
And Dalton to teach you about Supreme from the Eagle News First Hour.
You'll be learning about 3 things today. Who founded Supreme, what they have, and the rarest and most sought after items. The first thing you should know is Supreme's origins. Supreme was founded in 1994 by James Jebbia as a small skateboard brand that started to gain a following in the New York area, with no advertising, none but word of mouth.
Next thing you should know is how Supreme runs their business and what they sell.
Supreme has different items they get in stock every Thursday at 10 a.m. And the products can range from markers to boats, but stuff can sell out in a matter of seconds.
The fastest item to ever sell out there was a yellow plant t-shirt that sold out in only 10 seconds. And this week, Supreme is doing a collab with North Face to bring out a heavy lambskin mountain parka and a mountain utility bag. 2 items you should know: rarest and most expensive piece.
The second thing you should know is Supreme's rarest and most expensive pieces. The first piece you should know about is the Kermit box logo photo tee, which is currently going for about $2,000 on the secondhand market. The second item you should know about is the Louis Vuitton X Supreme box logo hoodie, which retailed for only $150, but now it's going for about $12,000. And the 2 things that are considered to be the holy grail Supreme items would have to be the Louis Vuitton skateboard and the prototype Supreme box logo tee. The Louis Vuitton skateboard just sold recently for about $100,000 in auction. And we do not even know if the prototype box logo even exists, but if it does, it would most likely be invaluable. So, me and Dalton showing.
You have on boxing gloves.
Because I want to be a UFC fighter someday.
You know they don't use boxing gloves, right?
Yeah, well, they hurt his bad. So let's go over to me and Carson about the UFC.
Eagles, I'm Carson.
And I'm Ashton from the Eagle News First Hour. You know what, Carson, I've been thinking. Maybe I can be a UFC fighter.
Carson, bud, get up. Okay, so obviously today you will be learning about the following 3 things. What is the UFC and what are the playouts, how the UFC was created, and past UFC events.
The first thing we will tell you about is what is the UFC. The UFC stands for Ultimate Fighting Championship. It features mixed martial arts based in Las Vegas. The UFC has over 40 live events a year. The smallest payout for an inexperienced fighter who isn't known very well and loses, it's about $6,000 a fight. The biggest fighters make about $4 or $5 million if they win. In professional boxing, where payouts are much larger, Floyd Mayweather made over $250 million in one fight, which is the most ever made in one fight.
The second thing they should know is the UFC was founded in 1993, and the first event was on December 5th of that year. The founders are Rowan Gracie, Campbell McClure, Art Davie, and Bob Maritz. The UFC was purchased in 2001 by Dana White, Frank Ferretta, and Lorenzo Ferretta for $4 million and is now worth over $1.5 billion. But Dana White claims it's now over $7 billion due to a $1.5 billion deal between the UFC and ESPN.
The third thing you should know about is the past events in the UFC. The UFC has had 229 events, with the most recent on October 6th, and the next event, which is UFC 230, will be held on November 3rd in New York. Some of the most famous fights, like UFC 202 between Conor McGregor and Nate Diaz, will have a rematch, but isn't scheduled yet. UFC Fight Night has had 138 events, with the next UFC Fight Night, which is October 27th in New Brunswick, Canada. UFC Fight Night has less famous fighters compete, where So normal UFC fights, they have more popular fighters. The most recent UFC fight broke pay-per-view records with just over 2.4 million downloads between Conor McGregor and Khabib. What do you like about the UFC?
I like watching Conor McGregor in the press conferences because he just roasts everybody.
What do you like about the UFC?
I like to watch KSI flame Logan Paul.
What about the UFC?
Watching people get beat up. Watching people get hurt.
Favorite UFC fighter?
Probably Conor McGregor.
What do you think UFC fighting is?
I think it's the ultimate fighting
Okay,
championship.
what's your opinion on UFC fighting?
I think it's awesome if you can do it. It's fun to watch.
Okay, what's your opinion on the McGregor fight?
I have no opinion on the McGregor fight because I didn't see the McGregor fight. I do have an opinion on McGregor because he seems silly as can be when he talks trash like he does.
I'm a lover, not a fighter.
So you,
I give hugs, I'm a hugger.
What's your opinion on UFC fighting?
I think it's a pretty cool sport, the fact that they use a combination of different skills, different fighting techniques, mixed martial arts, boxing, all of that.
What do you think UFC fighting is?
I think UFC is a combination of mixed martial arts, wrestling, judo, taekwondo, a bunch of different types of styles of wrestling and kickboxing and fighting.
Alright, what's your opinion on it?
I think it's awesome personally. It's definitely kind of dangerous, but I think it's a pretty awesome sport. Definitely very high intensity, and I like the kind of pre and post fight antics that go on and kind of the attitudes of the fighters.
What's your opinion on the McGregor fight?
I have mixed opinions. I'm a big Conor McGregor fan. That left hook of his is deadly. However, the fighter he was fighting is more of a wrestler, and so he kind of just wrestled him to the ground and kept him there, and then eventually choked him out. I would personally like to see more fighting, but that fighter played to his strengths, and it worked out for him, so can't blame him there.
To conclude, the UFC looks like a fun league and a gold mine for fighters. The UFC appears to be growing in size and in value, with pay-per-view records getting bigger almost every fight, which means bigger payoffs for the fighters. Thank you for watching the Story Eagle News.
Do you think you have a shot at the WNBA?
No, but I think I have a chance at the NBA.
Okay, let's go over to Adam McCain about the history of NBA.
Morning, Eagles. My name's Adam.
And I'm Caden from the Eagle News First Hour.
Our story for you today will be on the evolution of the NBA.
You will learn about the following 3 things: when the NBA started, the teams, and how much money they make.
In 1949, after a 3-year battle to win both players and fans, the Basketball Association of America, which was formed in 1946 and ended in the 1948-1949 season. The National Basketball League, which was formed in 1937, in its 12th season merged with the BAA to form the NBA on June 6, 1949 in New York City. The first game ever played in the NBA was between the Toronto Huskies and the New York Knickerbockers at Maple Leafs Garden. On average, the NBA players back then in 1984 made around $1 million. Nowadays, they make approximately $6.4 million. The highest paid player is Stephen Curry with $34.7 million a year. Most popular NBA players can also get paid for advertisement, and some have even signature shoes like Stephen Curry's Under Armour shoes and LeBron James Nike shoes. Most popular NBA players have their own clothing brands like LeBron, Kyrie, and Kevin Durant with Nike.
There were originally 11 teams in the NBA at the start. There were the Celtics, Stags, Rebels, Falcons, Knicks, Warriors, Ironmen, Steamrollers, Bombers, Huskies, and Capitals. 4 of the teams dropped out after 1 season. They were the Steamrollers, Bombers, Huskies, and Capitals. Now there are 32 teams, and the most popular teams are the Warriors, Rockets, Thunder, Lakers, Bulls, Celtics, and Philadelphia 76ers. Now we had some time to do some interviews. Let's head over now.
What's your favorite NBA team?
Chicago Bulls.
What's your favorite player on the team?
Zach Levine.
What's your favorite NBA team?
Probably the Thunder.
What's your favorite player on the team?
Wesson Westbrook.
What's your favorite NBA team?
Probably the Lakers.
What's your favorite player on the team?
Kyle Kuzma.
In conclusion, the NBA has come a long way with changes. Here's a recap of our story. The history of NBA. The BAA and NBL formed to create the NBA.
The teams the NBA started with 11 teams and now has 32 teams.
Salary. NBA players make money from their contract and can make money from advertising and brands.
Thank you for watching.
And back to you, Anchor.
What have you been spending your money lately on?
V-Bucks.
Okay.
Let's head on over to Yuritsa and Alora and let people spend their money.
Good morning, Eagles. I'm Alora. And I'm Yuritsa from the Eagle News First Hour. Today you'll be learning on teen money spending.
We'll learn the following 3 things in our story.
What teens spend their money on,
Where they go to spend their money,
and just how much they spend.
Most U.S. teens spend the majority of their money on food and clothes. 60% of teens' money is spent on clothes, shoes, accessories, and food. They also spend 8% on a car, 7% on electronics, 8% on video games, 5% on concerts, sporting events, and movies, 5% on music/DVDs, 2% on furniture or room accessories, 1% on books and magazines, and 4% on other things. But 22% of teens' money comes from their parents.
Now let's head on over to a few South Valley kids to see where they spend their money.
where do you go to spend your money?
To the store,
How do you get your money?
mowing the lawn, and doing chores.
Your parents give you money?
Yeah.
Where do you go to spend your money?
Dick's.
How do you get your money?
From my parents.
Where do you go to spend your money?
Target,
How do you get your money?
chores, mowing, babysitting.
Do your parents give you money?
Yeah.
Where do you go to spend your money?
Like clothes store wise? Like Target. Yeah,
Target. How do you get your money?
I don't. My parents don't give me money. So, at the end of the semester, my parents give me money for my grades if I have good grades. My parents usually just buy everything. A lot of people that we interviewed said that they spend their money at Target. Chick-fil-A is the #1 spot among teens. Second place is Starbucks after being first for 7 years in a row. Third place is Chipotle. Fourth, Buffalo Wild Wings. And fifth, Panera.
The last thing you should know is how much money teens spend. Teens spend about 21% of their budget on clothes. Food is a close second with 20%. Each year, teens spend about $259 billion out of the 47.12 million teens in America. The national average income for teens is $2,851 per month for teens ages 16 to 19.
Be wondering how teens get all this money if they're too young to apply for a job. Well, teens usually use their money from doing smaller jobs like babysitting, mowing lawns, and doing chores. Teens between the ages of 13 and 15 probably earn closer to around $20 per gig. Now you know that teens spend most of their money on food and clothes.
But a lot of teens spend their money at Target or Chick-fil-A.
In that, teens spend about $259 billion per year.
Thanks for watching our story on teen money spending.
Back to you, anchors.
Thanks for watching, Eagles. I hope you have a great 3.5-day weekend.
And make sure on Sunday you watch them football!
Peace out, Eagles.